Yes, brothers and sisters, lovers, haters, boys and girls, what a day to be alive. Now I'm just driving out to Newcastle. I'm on the 69. I'm going over to the O'Toole's gym for a bit of technique work, bit of clinch work, maybe a few circuits, a few light rounds of sparring perhaps, whatever. Going over for a workout. They're a good bunch of lads over there, a really good team, a lot of good fighters there, and the coaches are a really good crowd. So I'm looking forward to it. Now, fight news. I'm going to be fighting at Newcastle in November. I think it's the last week in November. Now, the Milton Keynes card is cancelled. I was supposed to be headlining that card, fighting an American, but they couldn't secure the opponent. I don't know what the issue was. I don't know if he had a sore uterus or what the reasons were. I don't know, but all I know is he couldn't fight. So the show has been cancelled. Now I feel for all the London boys, the boys from down south, because them travelling to Newcastle is very much like me travelling to London. It's not ideal. It's not ideal for ticket sales. The logistics of it, can just be a nightmare. But I feel their frustration. It's one of those things what only fighters will really understand. When fights get cancelled on you, and when events get pulled, or when fighters themselves pull out of fights, and all these things that make fights not happen, it's incredibly stressful and frustrating. Now I seen a video by Jack Draper the other week, and I seen him. I could see the frustration in his eyes. I identify with that frustration. I know exactly what it's like, because a week before that, I'd already been through the same frustration. You see, you've got to summon the necessary motivation and discipline to propel yourself into camp and get yourself mentally prepared. It's a big order, it's a big ask. These training camps, they're not fun. These training camps are not any kind of fun, but they're necessary. Now, I can train all year round, I can tick over and train, but I cannot put myself through the intensity of a training camp without an opponent or a date or a venue secured, posters out, tickets in hand. That's when you get serious with it, because it's just incredibly difficult to summon the necessary motivation and discipline when there's nothing secure. So I feel for the London boys having the card pulled out from under them, and now if any of them want to fight, they've got to come to Newcastle. Well, there's no better place really to have the show replaced. Newcastle, no matter what show you put on at Newcastle, if it's a jiu-jitsu show, if it's MMA, if it's unlicensed boxing, if it's amateur boxing, if it's bare knuckle, it will always sell out. They love fighting over there. You get the grannies and the aunties and everybody, they all come along. They just love fighting in Newcastle, and it's a proper fighting city. And I'm very pleased that that's where the show is now taking place for myself. Obviously I'll be able to do a lot more tickets, and I want somebody in the top 5. I know I can't get Lorenzo Hunt at present. He's got cruiserweight commitments, and as I've said before, as far as I'm concerned, Lorenzo Hunt is the man. And if he wants to go to cruiserweight and pick and choose who he wants to fight, that's his business. He's earned that right. Poster boy for BKFC is what he is. So I salute him. I'll get a crack at him before long. All I've got to do is keep knocking them out. So I'm putting it out there. The BKFC already know. I've asked for the best available light heavyweight on earth. Somebody in the top 5. and I'll fold them up. And I've just got to keep going until I get that crack at Lorenzo. Anyways, that's the fight news. It's happening in back end of November. Be a massive show. I can't even announce where they're planning to have this show, but it's a massive venue. It's going to reignite the interest what seems to have been lost in the BKFC UK. It's going to be a very deep, tremendous card. The main event's going to be unbelievable. As far as I know, I'm going to be the co-main event, and all the other fights in between. I've had a rough look at the lineup, and I've heard a lot of fights that are going to be on. It's going to be an absolutely cracking card, and I'm proud and privileged to be a part of it once again. And come the end of November, I will be in incredible shape. You know, I'm fit and ready to go now, really. You know, not quite fight fit, but I'm running at about 60% now, which is good. Come, you know, a month before Christmas, I'm going to be dynamite. I'm travelling about as I'm doing today, as and when I can. I'm going to different gyms for sparring and a variation of coaching, and obviously I'm still training with Wayne, but you know, I'm visualising a career-defining performance. Whoever they put in front of me is getting it, and that's it. Thank you for listening, brothers and sisters, chavers and viewers, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Have a beautiful day. What a day to be alive.